All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the tactical chess match set for the EuroBasket 2025 final, a showdown between two absolute titans, Germany and Turkey.
And look, this is not just any final. It's a clash between two undefeated teams, both storming into this historic game with a perfect 8-0 record. I mean, they've both just steamrolled the competition to get here.
Okay, so let's really get into this, because how these two teams reached perfection couldn't be more different. On one side, you've got Germany, the machine, a well-oiled system that runs on balance and pure discipline, and on the other, Turkey's giant men, basically a force of nature built around one single spectacular superstar.
So we have these undefeated titans, these opposing philosophies. But what's really at stake here? Because for both of these nations, this game, it's about so much more than just a trophy. It's a chance to define who they are on the world stage.
You've got Germany, the reigning World Cup champs, and they're looking to cement their legacy, to pull off this historic World Cup EuroBasket double that almost nobody achieves. And then you have Turkey, chasing this incredible, glorious comeback story. I mean, 24 years since they've even been in the final. They're fighting for their first ever major international gold medal.
All right, so how do these wildly different approaches actually, score points? To really get it, we've got to look under the hood at the engines powering each team's offense.
So with Germany, you've got this dual-engine attack, right? A 1-2 punch led by Dennis Schröder and Franz Wagner that creates threats from all over the floor. Turkey, on the other hand, runs what's called a heliocentric system. And that's just a fancy way of saying everything, and I mean everything, revolves around their superstar center. He's the sun, they're the planets.
You start with Dennis Schröder, the World Cup MVP. He's the conductor, the maestro, putting up almost 21 points and nearly 7 assists a game. And then you've got his perfect partner in crime, Franz Wagner. He's the team's top scorer, a true 3-level threat who can hurt you from anywhere on the court. It's just perfect synergy.
But then you look at Turkey, and their offense is just a supernova. That number you see, 30.3, that's Alperen Şengün's efficiency rating, and it is just staggering. But here's the crazy part. He leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists. It's a statistical anomaly. He's not just part of the offense, he is the offense.
But for all their dominance, perfection in sports is, well, it's pretty much an illusion. Despite those flawless records, both of these titans have shown some cracks in their armor, and that's where this game will be won or lost. It's a tactical battleground. Who can exploit the other's weakness first?
Okay, so let's start with the champs, the German machine. They look invincible, right? But how do you beat them? Well, there are a couple of key pressure points.
First off, they can get really dependent on the three-point shot. Remember that game against Portugal? They went ice cold, missed 23 of their first 24 threes, and their whole offense just ground to a halt. And the second thing is, their system defense, as great as it is, can get stressed out by a single dominant superstar. We saw it against Slovenia. They were trailing most of that game because they just couldn't find an answer for Luka Doncic.
Now, flip it over to Turkey. And this is fascinating because their greatest strength, that total reliance on Şengün, is also, you guessed it, directly tied to their biggest, most glaring weakness.
See, their entire system depends on getting the ball into Şengün's hands. But the guards who have to do that, they're the weak link in the chain, and that makes them a huge target. We saw it against Czechia. Their perimeter defense got torched early on. So if a team can just pressure those guards and disrupt the entry passes to the big man, Turkey's entire offense can just
This all brings us to the final, most important question. How is this game actually won? What's the blueprint? Well, each team has a really clear tactical path to a title, a path born from their core identity.
For Germany, it all comes down to their defense. Their path to victory is to attack Turkey's biggest weakness. That means relentless pressure on those guards, forcing turnovers, and then, and this is key, getting out and scoring easy points in transition. The big goal, make Şengün a scorer, not a playmaker. They have to use their disciplined team D to shut down his passing lanes without giving up a ton of open threes.
Okay, and for Turkey, it's all about the supporting cast. The guards have to withstand that defensive storm. They have to protect the ball and get it to their superstar. Once that happens, you just let the Sun King do his thing. Let him create, let him dictate the game, and then it's on the shooters to punish Germany every single time they double-team him. They have to win the three-point battle.
So at the end of the day, when that final buzzer sounds in Riga, this game is going to answer a really fundamental question about how you win championships in modern basketball. Is it the perfectly balanced, disciplined system? Or is it the singular, transcendent superstar who can literally put an entire nation on his shoulders? The disciplined machine or the transcendent star? Either way, a legacy is going to be forged.